when we start a process, when a client comes to us and says they're looking for a new board member, they often have quite a clear idea of what they want, but sometimes they don't, and sometimes that can change as they go through the process and before the search kicks off, and sometimes it can change once the search has kicked off. But typically we would put together a matrix of different skills and attributes that they're looking for. We would analyse their board, we would do that with them sometimes if they've got a very good HR team or somebody else on the board, they will have already done that. And then they will look at the skill sets that they have and what they might need around the board table, either functionally or in terms of geographic experience or other areas. They might typically these days want people with more finance skills, or a big issue in the UK is people to chair remuneration committees, so they might someone who's already got remuneration chair experience. If it's a particularly contentious remuneration situation, some companies are more like that than others. Cybersecurity, technology, disintermediation, digital disruption. So there are lots of, they might want marketing skills, they might want sales skills, they might want retail skills, they might want financial services skills, so different skill sets looking, and we would also compare and contrast their board with an analysis of their direct competitors to see how they've tackled similar issues and what types of people they've gone for, and we can talk to them because we have access and relationships at those levels to work out to talk to other of their competitors to see what has worked well on their boards and really delivered value for them. So we help them fine-tune the specification, and even at the point of almost at offer, when they get down to shortlist, they might have 2 or 3 different types of profiles represented, so they've still yet to make the final choice about whether they go someone with a marketing background or a finance background, because they too are juggling succession on their board. They might want someone to chair the RemCo within the next 6 months, but they might be aware that the audit chairman is due to retire from the board in 2 years' time, so should they bring someone on now too, that would be quite handy. So they have lots of, it gets quite complicated.
It is, and I think also that one of the issues that we try to tackle there is the complementarity of the board, and not only on the functional side, I would say, but also on the soft skill side of things. Because I think that in my example of a supervisory board, the complementarity creates the effectiveness of the board. And I'm not only talking about composition of the board, but also effectiveness of the board. And research in Europe showed that effective boards don't mention their expertise as number one. They mention the word trust as number one among the members of the supervisory board, and honesty and transparency and really independent, which is a little bit more difficult to assess with candidates, which means that you have to interview the rest of the board before you start searching.
We often see a lot of need for people with current executive experience to go onto the board. Chief executives, particularly if they're doing a turnaround, they really feel the benefit of having someone else who is a current or very recent CEO themselves, who's got an impressive track record as an operator, someone they will really respect and turn to for advice and guidance. So I think most boards will benefit from having somebody with a current executive background on the board to add into the mix.
I agree, although Murphy's Law can hit home here. You typically are in a board and there's something wrong with the company, and at the same time as a CEO you're under scrutiny or whatever happens. So typically
in your own business,
both things go wrong at the same time frame. That's very often the case. Oh, that's dangerous at least.